Do you forgive and forget? A lot of us go through life getting offended, hurt feelings, being taken advantage of, and all of that is truly hurtful. And we don't feel like forgiving people. Now, you're going to have people who do ask for forgiveness, and then you're going to have people who don't ask for forgiveness. We're not concerned with what people do or don't do. What we're concerned with is how we process through being hurt, being offended, being triggered by something or some behavior people have exhibited towards us. Do we forgive and forget, or do we forgive and not forget? Everyone has their own reasoning, and there is no right or wrong, fortunately, and you can do a little bit of both. Fortunately, it's your world. You could do what you want. We just want to make sure these decisions are not made out of spite, out of anger, and unreasonably, because that's just not what you need. And notice, I'm not saying it has anything to do with how the other person will perceive your behavior. I am more worried about how you're processing through it. Making a decision in anger or in spite or in vengeance, it might feel good in the moment. Believe me, I know. Long term, it is not good for our wellness. It is not good for our health. It is not good for our peace of mind. It is not good to have that energy cycling in our body. Our cells are made of electricity. Energy is electricity. It all comes into play with how we feel overall throughout our life. So we may be smug in our response to someone who has hurt us, and you snapped back and you did something, well, they hurt me, so I'm going to do this. Well, I am not going to do this because they did that to me. I'm not going to do. Fine. It feels good. I get it. But it doesn't serve a purpose in achieving a higher state of well-being for ourselves. And again, guys, I talk about this constantly. It is difficult to grow. It is difficult to undo and unlearn behaviors and reactions that we have been taught. There is no judgment to you if you react a certain way. What is most important is that you recognize it, you're accountable and wanting to change it, and that you do change it. Why? Because this is all about achieving a higher state of well-being for you to have a more empowered, fulfilled, and peaceful life. So bear in mind when people offend you or hurt your feelings and you are just really motivated to, well, I can't believe it. And then you go into you fixate on what they've done to you and you're so hurt. I can't believe it. And then you call someone and then you call someone else and all you're doing is spewing and repeating like a broken record this stuff. Look, mention it once, your feelings are hurt, you feel offended, whatever it is. The second sentence that comes out of your mouth should be, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to process through this in the best way possible for myself. Not to seek vengeance, not to get back at them, not to hurt them back, or not to ignore them. I'm going to show them. You can do that, own it, but I'm telling you, it is not the most peaceful and well way to respond to something like that. So it is your choice. And it is very difficult because we naturally want to respond sometimes in vengeance. Think through practices that can help you. Some quick tips. Your breath. Go to your breath. It is always with you. It will stay with you. Your triggers. Somebody says or does something. I am so offended. I am so hurt. I can't believe. Fine. Period. Don't repeat any of those things. There's no need to repeat any of it. The second sentence or the second thing you do is make the in-breath shorter than the exhale. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold it. Exhale for at least 8 seconds. Do that 3 times before you react, before you make a decision, before you respond. I promise you that is magic. It will work every single time. It will lower your anxiety. It lowers your cortisol levels. It physiologically reduces the stress in your body. And when we have less stress in our body, we can make more clear and reasonable decisions. It's a more level-headed decision. After those 3 breaths have been taken, then focus on how you want to react. By that time, yes, you're probably still going to be hurt and offended. That's fine. But it takes that edge. It takes that sharpness out of it where you may be able to process a lot better your reaction. And then step 2, after you've taken that breath, is understand that that person is reacting and doing the best they can with what they have in that moment in their life. You may not agree with it. You might think it is the most stupid, dumb, unreasonable, careless, irresponsible thing you've ever dealt with in your life, perhaps they're doing the best they can with what they have. With the tools available to them in their journey, that is the best they can do. It helps you build empathy. It helps you pity them in that sense. Like, wow, they really thought that was the best thing that they should do or say to me. It's offensive and I'm hurt. I'm going to leave that alone because I am not responsible for them. I'm not responsible for their mindset. I'm not responsible for their actions or behaviors. I need to focus on me. And at that point, you may need to take 3 more breaths because you'll work yourself up. This is all a process. It is all cyclical, and I promise you it will help. I'm not saying it's going to solve the situation. I'm not saying you're going to make the person all of a sudden apologize and be nice to you. I've never said that. In fact, I've always said it's not about the other person. It is about us. It is about how we are going to choose to process through these situations that come up in life. And so use those tips the next time something bothers you or stresses you out and let me know how it feels.